Hey there, what's going on everyone? Casual Chats here. This is another new series I'm going to start where I basically explain concept ideas that I like, and what better way to get started than to explain my favorite power system, Nen. To start off with, what is Nen? Nen is basically the power system used in Hunter x Hunter. It's similar to like Ki in Dragon Ball and Chakra in Naruto. Nen is people's life energy, and it is used to explain all the powers and attacks used in Hunter x Hunter. To get started, how would one even awaken Nen? To awaken the flow of Nen, one must open their body's aura nodes. There are two ways to do this, one long way and one short way. The first way is the long way, which is the safest way. It is through meditation and training, and after a couple months you'll be able to eventually open the flow of aura through your body. The second way is a lot faster but a lot more risky. Basically, an outside person will attack your body with aura. They'll pretty much put their hand on you, and then they'll pump out a bunch of aura, and it will make your body kind of go into this defensive mechanic to where it automatically will produce aura to defend itself. However, the consequence to this is that a body that doesn't have their aura nodes open is very weak against Nen, so this could potentially lead to death if your body doesn't do this defensive mechanic. Another thing worth of note is that some people in the Hunter x Hunter universe use Nen without realizing it. These people are known as Nen geniuses. The examples they give in the show are people such as professional athletes and next level geniuses of their craft. They use Nen unconsciously, so I guess if I were to think about examples in the real world, it would probably be like Mike Tyson, Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps. Even non-athletic geniuses could fall into this category, like Magnus Carlsen. Another example they give in the show would be like Komugi. Now that we finally explained what Nen is, we need to get into the four major principles of Nen. Now strap in because this is gonna be a lot. The first thing that you're gonna learn with Nen is called Ten, which means envelop or shroud. Basically, the goal of Ten is to keep one's aura from leaking out of their body while keeping the nodes open. You want the aura to just completely flow within your body. Once maintained, it creates like a thin shroud around the user that feels similar to standing in lukewarm fluid. 10 is also the most basic defense against passive Nen attacks. Like if someone just inflicts a bunch of aura to you, 10 is pretty much there to protect against that. And it also offers some protection against physical attacks as well, but it will hardly provide any defense against attacks that are enhanced with aura. To improve 10, you basically have to meditate and practice it constantly until eventually you'll be able to maintain it indefinitely, even in your sleep. Now we get on to the second major principle of Nen, and that is called Zetsu, which means suppress or null. Basically, with Zetsu, the goal is to completely shut off your body's aura nodes. With this power, you effectively become invisible due to zero aura leaking out of your body at all. It can also be used to relieve fatigue since you no longer have 10 up and no aura is leaking out of your body. However, this leaves a person wide open to attacks completely. You are no longer protected by your Nen, so you are open to any attack, including passive Nen attacks. So be careful when you're in this form, because one Nen attack and you're probably gonna die. Next up, we have Ren, which means refine or enhance. Basically, the goal of Ren is to enhance someone's capabilities, whether it be their physical strength, durability, you name it. Using Ren, however, comes at a cost of your aura supply. Pretty much like how in Naruto, how they have a chakra supply, how like if they're getting low on chakra, they say I'm running out of chakra. It's the same thing with Nen. Basically, to do this, you have to train in order to produce a large amount of aura in your body. With continuous training, one can extend their duration and increase the amount of aura at their disposal. Typically, it is said that it takes around 1 month to increase your Ren by 10 minutes. Ren can also be used passively, as I mentioned earlier. If one has malicious Ren and protrudes it out against someone without 10, then they can seriously hurt someone or even kill them. Ren can also be used in conjunction with 10 in order to contain or control their aura. For example, if I have Ren up, I can use 10 to control it so that it avoids as much Nen leaking out as possible. And finally, we got into the fourth major principle called Hatsu, which means released or act. Basically, Hatsu is what makes Nen unique to everybody, unique to each individual person. I'll explain it in a separate video since Hatsu can pretty much have a video onto itself because it is so long to explain. But basically, Hatsu is used so that one can make their own individual Nen ability that is unique to them. Now, after learning and mastering the major principles of Nen, one can use an advanced application of the Nen techniques or combine them to create more advanced Nen techniques. The ones we've learned so far in the show are called Gyo, In, En, Shu, Ko, Ken, and Ryu. I'll go ahead and just quickly explain them now. Shu, which means enfold. Basically, to use Shu, one must use their aura and be able to cover an object to strengthen and protect it so that the object is now an extension of one's body. So, for example, like in the show, God and Killua poured their aura into a shovel. That way, the shovel can become stronger and the shovel can dig through dirt so much easier. Next up, we have Gyo, which means focus. Basically, one uses Ren on a specific part of their body to amplify that specific body part. The most common use of this is in the eyes. Basically, one takes their Nen and then just focuses it on one part of their body. And in the case that I gave, which is the eyes, people will use it so they can see In. What is In, you may ask? In means conceal. Basically, it's when one uses Zetsu to render one's aura imperceptible, even to other Nen users. Now, keep in mind though, this is not Zetsu. It does not stop the user's aura flow. Instead, it just hides it. And the only way to see In is by using Gyo on your eyes. Next up, we have En, which means circle. One uses Ten and Ren in order to do En, okay? Basically, to do this, you protrude your Ren over a wider area than normal. So pretty much you expand that Ren over a really wide area. Then you use Ten at the same time to contain that and give it a shape. And the most common shape, as you probably guessed, is a circle. Someone using En can then feel the shape and the movement of anything in that area covered by your aura. So pretty much you can sense everything around you within that shape, even if one is using Zetsu. The only downside to this is that it uses a ton of Nen, so using it, especially over long periods of time, can leave one really tired and drained. Just to put into perspective how crazy this can get, the minimum requirement for someone to be called successful is for one to be able to extend their En to a radius of about 2 meters and keep it up longer than a minute. But masters such as Killua's grandpa can extend this up to 300 meters, and monsters like Pitou can extend it up to 2 kilometers. Next up, we have Ko, which means temper. Ko is a combination of Ten, Zetsu, Ren, Hatsu, and Gyo. Basically, with this ability, one focuses the user's aura onto a particular part of your body. How is this different than Gyo, you may ask? Basically, Ko is more precise with the concentration of your Nen than Gyo. While as Gyo, you're just putting more aura into a specific part of your body, Ko, you are completely cutting your body's aura with Zetsu and concentrating all of it on one particular part, which makes it very strong for offense. The drawback is that it can leave the rest of your body completely unprotected. Not can, it will. It will leave the rest of your body completely unprotected. For example, if I use 100% of my Nen on my fist, I have nothing to protect the rest of my body since the rest of my body is in Zetsu. So now if someone hits me with like a Nen fist, then I might as well be dead. Next up, we have Ken, which means fortify. Basically, Ken is a combination of Ten and Ren, but it's more like an advanced Ten and Ren. It is primarily a defensive technique where Nen users maintain a state of Ren for a long period of time. The difference between this and normal Ten is the amount of aura surrounding the user's body is usually 10 times higher when using Ken than you are using Ten. And this makes it really good at guarding against attacks, especially against Ko. Now finally, we have Ryu, which means flow, and it's how all of this balances out. Basically, Ryu is using Gyo in a Ken-like state. If you see Ken as using your aura for 100% defense and Ko as using your aura as 100% offense, Ryu is like you are regulating how much of your total aura you want to focus. For example, I use 80% of my aura on my fist while leaving 20% to protect the rest of my body. This way, I can still strengthen myself without the risk of leaving my body wide open. Whew, wow, that was a lot. But join me next time where I get in depth about the coolest part of Nen, in my opinion, Hatsu. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video and let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed the content. And as always, have a great day.